Hey guys, welcome to Tour Truck Tuesday. We're here once again, Kingdom, Carlsbad, California, TaylorMade's headquarters, test facility, looking beautiful as ever. Last week I put up a video about toe hang and which hosel to get into for you as a player. This week, off a question from DC MTB Chaos, asking about length and how do we get into the right length? How do we fit for tour players? Then how do we fit for consumers when it comes to length? So I'm going to cover those two things here. I'm going to start with a few things that I look for in the tour player, and then I'm going to put them where I'd go if you weren't sure on what length to play or you maybe didn't have some preferences. And I always like to talk to the fitter here as well. Preferences, that's the key word. If a player comes into you and they have preferences, always allow them to talk about them, always allow them to impact where you go with the fitting. I've got a couple of tools down. First out the gate, a putt out mirror that is going to look at, for me, eye position, and that's going to then dictate length. These putters on the floor are all mine. They're all at 33 inches, sometimes 33 and a quarter, which, to be honest with you, both of those are a little bit long for me, but I have a preference. But to start with preferences, I want you to figure out your eye dominance. And you can do that by standing, say, 15 feet away as we are here from the camera, holding up your hands out in front of you at arm's length, picking that target. There's a flag out in the Kingdom, I could do it that way, but picking that target, looking at it, and closing each eye individually. And when you realize, mine's the right eye, which eye is focusing, that's the one then when it comes to putter length that I want you to consider when you get in these mirrors. No doubt you've all seen mirrors, how certain techniques have eyes over the golf ball, directly over the golf ball. Then some guys have eyes inside. Well, if you're left or right eye dominant, that's the eye I need you to be focusing on. Where is that eye when it comes to your eye line in relation to the ball? Is it directly over, or is it inside? And if it's inside, and you can see here, I'm holding the putter towards the end of the grip, because if it's inside, when I drop something from my eye, or I can see it inside the golf ball as you look, then I'm going to want, never mind toe hang, no toe hang, face balance. That was the last video, which I'll put at the end. You can go and connect to that if you want to. But this now is length. And if your eyes are inside the ball, obviously you don't want to be using a shorter putter and then overextending yourself. Right eye dominant, right eye inside, there it goes. Left eye dominant, I could go a bit shorter because I would be a bit closer based on my eye relation to the ball. So there's step number one. Jon Rahm, longer putter. Dustin Johnson, longer putter. Eyes slightly inside the golf ball. Rory McIlroy, slightly shorter guy, but uses perhaps a longer than standard putter for him. He's at 34 and a quarter, but he gets his eyes closer to the line of the ball than DJ and Rahm, but he uses a shorter putter and he's a shorter guy. So you can see where I'm going with this. Matthew Wolff, more over the ball, uses a shorter putter. That's what I've learned from the tour guys. What about then if you're really not sure and you want your eyes over the ball? Well, that's where this next piece comes in, the simple stroke. This gets everything lined up. This is if you want to get your eyes over the ball, perfect for fitting, but if your eyes are inside, you have to then get used to, if your eyes are inside, how you're going to see that stroke down that line, because it's going to give you a different perspective, a different parallax than if your eyes are over it, if your eyes are inside it. But I like this device for finding length of putter, because if someone then wants to get directly over the ball and put this line through the middle of the ball as you look down, get directly over it in position. Now everything is perfectly on the checkpoint, and you can see here, I said before, I think this is a little bit long for me if I'm fitting me, but my preference is I want to feel this cradle that you guys can see. See this triangle I've formed, this cradle? If I went any shorter, it becomes too straight. I want this. I want this feeling when I set up with my simple stroke, my eyes perfectly over the golf ball. I want the feeling of rocking back, rocking through, following it down. That one was a lip out, but following it down and seeing it down the line. In there, boom, boom, eyes over, a bit quite upright for me. I like to feel the hands upright. Rock it down. That's where I'm going with the feel when I get in this, and your checkpoint with the simple stroke and your checkpoints with the mirror. Get your eye dominance, listen to the preferences, set longer, eyes inside, shorter, eyes over the ball, checkpoints. Now I mentioned at the start, what happens if you're new to the game? A lot of people coming into it. What happens if you've really no idea where to go at all? You have no preferences, you have no tendencies. Well, for the fitter, this is fantastic. But where do you start? And what I would suggest with that, have the player set up to the golf ball, ideally with a simple stroke so they can feel their eye line over it, get everything perfect, going down through the true path of the Spider X putter on this one. Then stack them. Get the foundations perfect. Shoulder width apart with the foundations. Remember, this is a beginner, someone who doesn't have a view on where they want to be. Let their arms fall, and by stacking, I've now got knees, hips, shoulders, everything stacked. Let them fall. Slight cradle. Usually, it's in the middle of the thighs. Let the putter come in, and you could see for me, I'd probably go, knowing this is 33 1/4, 32 1/4. Everything's stacked. I'm in a perfect spot. Eyes over the ball, checked on the simple stroke. There you go. That's where you set off with your player who is the beginner and doesn't know where they want to be. Hopefully that answers the question on length. It gives you a point of reference to start. From there, you have to decide what method you want to putt with, what checkpoints you want to use, what training aids you want to use, so you've got a gauge to practice, and how you want to structure that putter as you go out and play all these different courses and hopefully strike it out the center and get the pace because you've got the consistency. If you like what you're seeing, ask me a comment, follow, subscribe. As you can see, I do read the comments, and I will cater a video for you if there's a good question in there that I think other people are going to be asking. Until next Tour Truck Tuesday, good luck with that one, and I'll see you then.